Most gardeners are working too hard, and honestly, getting worse results because of it. Constant digging, turning soil, hauling compost, watering every day. It all feels productive, but it's actually breaking the very system that grows your food. The more you disturb the soil, the more you collapse its structure, disrupt microbial life, and create a cycle where your garden depends on constant effort just to stay, well, average. This is why so many people see good results one season, then struggle the next. The soil never stabilizes, nutrients wash out, water doesn't hold properly, and roots stay shallow. You end up managing problems instead of growing food. One of the first changes I made that, honestly, reduced my workload significantly had nothing to do with the garden itself. It started in the kitchen. I began controlling organic waste better using a sealed compost container, like the Enloy countertop compost bucket with charcoal filters. It keeps scraps from turning into that wet, oxygen-starved mess that slows everything down later in the soil. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. It solves a small problem, but it prevents a chain reaction that most gardeners don't even realize is happening. Now here's the part most people miss. The ancient trick wasn't about doing more, it was about doing less at the right time. Traditional farmers didn't spend all day turning soil or constantly adding inputs. They built systems that worked on their own. The key was this: they stopped fighting natural processes and started setting them up once, correctly. That's the labor-saving method most modern gardeners have lost. Instead of repeated effort, they relied on soil structure, continuous ground cover, and slow, steady nutrient cycling. And once those systems were in place, the workload dropped dramatically. But there's a catch, and this is where most people get it wrong. You can't reduce effort until the system is built properly. A lot of gardeners try to go low effort too early. They stop digging, reduce inputs, and expect the soil to take care of itself. That only works if the foundation is already strong. If your soil is compacted, low in organic matter, or biologically inactive, doing less just locks in those problems. What actually works is front-loading the effort in the right way. In my raised beds, I spent one season focusing entirely on building structure. That meant layering organic matter, maintaining consistent mulch, and avoiding unnecessary disturbance. Not constant work, but intentional work. By the next season, the difference was obvious. Watering frequency dropped, weeds decreased, and plants established faster with less intervention. That's when the labor-saving effect really kicks in. Why undisturbed soil does more work than you think. Every time you dig or turn soil, you reset its internal structure. Air pockets collapse, microbial networks break, and moisture patterns change. But when you stop disturbing it, well, something different happens. Fungi start forming networks that move nutrients across the soil. Worms create channels that improve aeration and drainage. Microbes stabilize organic matter into forms plants can use. This isn't theory, I've seen it directly in side-by-side beds. The ones left undisturbed develop a crumbly texture that holds water and drains excess naturally, while the tilled beds swing between too wet and too dry. Less disturbance doesn't mean neglect, it means letting biology take over the heavy lifting. The simplest way to reduce work immediately, if there's one change that reduces effort almost instantly, it's this: never leave your soil exposed. Bare soil is high maintenance, it dries out faster, compacts under rain, and invites weeds. Cover it, and everything changes. In my garden, I maintain a mulch layer between 5 and 10 centimeters depending on the season. That single step cuts watering frequency nearly in half and reduces weeding to almost nothing. But mulch isn't just about saving effort, it's part of the system that builds soil continuously. And there's a detail here most people overlook, which we'll get into next. Not all mulch works the same way. Throwing any organic material on the surface isn't enough. Fine materials like grass clippings break down quickly and feed microbes fast, but they can mat and block airflow if applied too thickly. Coarser materials like straw or dry leaves last longer and maintain structure, but they decompose more slowly. What works best is layering different textures. In my beds, I combine finer materials underneath with coarser mulch on top. This creates a steady breakdown process that feeds the soil without collapsing into a dense layer. It's a small adjustment, but it keeps the system running without constant maintenance. Watering becomes easier when the system is working. Most gardeners water too often because their soil can't hold moisture properly. Once structure improves and mulch is in place, watering becomes less frequent but more effective. I water deeply, then leave it. Sometimes for several days, depending on conditions. The surface might look dry, but underneath, moisture stays consistent. This encourages roots to grow deeper where conditions are more stable. In containers, the effect is even more noticeable. A well-mulched container with good soil structure can go significantly longer between watering compared to one with exposed soil. That's not just convenience, it's better for plant health. Even in hydroponics, the same principle applies. This might seem like a soil-only concept, but it carries over into hydroponics as well. In hydro systems, you're not dealing with soil, but you're still managing stability. When nutrient levels fluctuate or oxygen levels drop, plants struggle. When conditions are stable, plants thrive with less intervention. The same mindset applies. Build a system that maintains balance and your workload decreases. I've applied this by stabilizing nutrient delivery and avoiding constant adjustments. The result is healthier plants with less daily management. Different systems, same principle. The mistake that keeps people stuck working harder every season. Most gardeners respond to problems by adding more effort, more digging, more feeding, more watering, but that approach creates dependency. You're constantly fixing symptoms instead of building a system that prevents them. The ancient method flips that approach. You invest effort up front in structure, coverage, and balance. Then you step back and let the system handle the rest. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing the right things once so you don't have to keep repeating them. So, here's what this actually looks like in a real garden over time. In the first season, you're really just focusing on building, adding organic matter, getting your mulch established, and, doing your best to minimize disturbance. By the second season, the soil starts to stabilize. You'll notice fewer weeds, better moisture retention, and honestly, much stronger plant growth. And then by the third season, the whole system becomes predictable. You're not scrambling to fix problems anymore. You're just maintaining a system that works. That's really when the labor drops off, and it drops off significantly. I've seen this happen in all sorts of gardens, backyard plots, raised beds, even containers on a balcony. Sure, the timeline might vary a bit, but the pattern stays the same. And the real advantage here isn't just that you're doing less work. It's that you're getting better results. This method doesn't just save you time, it actually produces healthier plants. You get stronger root systems, more consistent growth, and, honestly, way better resilience to stress. You're not forcing your plants to grow, you're creating the conditions where they just grow naturally, and once you experience that shift, it's really hard to go back to the old, high-effort way of gardening. If you're serious about growing food efficiently, this is the approach that, well, honestly changes everything. Subscribe if you want more real-world methods like this, tested, practical, and all about results, not trends. And if you know someone who's spending hours in the garden, but still struggling to get consistent yields, go ahead and share this with them, because once you understand how to build a system that works with nature, not against it, growing more food with less effort stops being just a theory and starts becoming your new normal.